My name is Laurel Lamb, and I'm a curator here at the University of Arkansas Museum. Today I'm going to take you on a behind-the-scenes tour of our collections, of which we have many invaluable cultural and natural resources. So come along.
There are 5 main collections within the museum. We're going to start the tour off with archaeology because it is one of our largest and most well-known collections. It's primarily made up of Arkansas archaeological materials, and these cultural materials can be attributed to the ancestors of modern-day Caddo, Quapaw, Osage, and Tunic for the most part. Archaeology can tell us much about the past, how people were interacting with their environment, what they were eating, what they were wearing. And so we have many materials within the collections, including plant materials and animal materials to do this. So here are a few examples. Corn, seeds, and other plant materials. Animal remains. Lithic or stone materials. Our collections span beyond just Arkansas, though. Here's an amphora, or storage jar, from Pakistan that dates between 205 to 651 AD. We also have a significant collection of ancient Greco-Roman materials, which are quite frequently utilized for UA art history classes for hands-on learning experiences. These are examples from Central and South America, such as Panama, Brazil, Ecuador, Mexico, Guatemala, and Peru. Many of the ceramics in the collections depict animals. Can you identify a couple here? This is a Colima dog. It's a well-known ceramic style that comes from Colima, Mexico. Next, we're going to take a look at our ethnology collections, which are essentially cultural materials from around the world that are fairly modern in age. They're at most 100–150 years old. This is a wood carving depicting a deer dancer tradition from the Sonora state of Mexico. This figurine style is more widely known as ironwood carvings, and they're made from a particular tree from that region of Mexico. There are many images represented through these wood carvings, but ours especially focus on animals. And these actually were produced specifically to sell to tourists. Here's a selection of beautifully beaded and colorful footwear from North America. These 4 are actually mucklucks for a dog from Fort Yukon, Alaska. The collection also includes musical instruments from around the world. These in particular are from Asia. This intricately detailed metal tray is from Egypt. Now on to our history collection. While the university's special collections focuses on collecting paper materials such as photographs and documents, we focus on collecting three-dimensional type history materials from the university, such as this trash can and colorful lamp from Bullwalker Hall when it was a library. The lamp dates to at least the 1950s. This gown was worn by Ida G. Barr in 1896 for her commencement. She was a member of the first graduating class to wear traditional regalia at UA. We house a variety of other historical textiles from UA, such as band uniforms. This large blue machine is a computer from 1954. It was purchased by the Animal Sciences Department here on campus for cattle research they were conducting. They had all these numbers they were trying to crunch from the research, and they decided to utilize a computer instead of having a person manually do it. It is considered to be the very first computer on UA campus. Here's another piece of equipment from UA, an electron diffraction unit. In 1941, Fay Jones joined the Navy. This trunk joined him on his journey. Born in Arkansas, Jones was an internationally recognized architect and the first dean of the School of Architecture here at UA. Many of his buildings are located here in Arkansas, including most notably Thorn Crown Chapel and Eureka Springs. The collection also contains representative samples of common North American glassware in use from the late 1870s to 1915. Here are some of our quilts from the history collection. They're rolled up for preservation and storage needs. The history collection contains a significant number of medical equipment, veterinary equipment, and pharmaceuticals. The long metal piece here is a coal rake from the steamboat Homer. Steamboats were an important form of transportation during the Civil War in Arkansas. It was under contract with the Confederate government and sank by the Union Army in 1864 near Camden, Arkansas. Our military collection houses an interesting World War I piece, this plane wreckage. It relates to Prairie Grove, Arkansas local Thomas C. Rogers. He graduated from Prairie Grove High School and attended UA. He and his brother Lee joined the Army during World War I. They both learned to fly airplanes in the early years of U.S. military aviation. The Air Force would not officially be established until 1947. On February 13, 1918, his plane collided midair with another plane during a training exercise in Tennessee. He was killed instantly, and his family donated these wooden pieces from the plane in 1941. This wooden figurine came from France. After World War II, a successful radio campaign pulled Americans together across the country to gather boxcars full of supplies to send to Europe to help with recovery. It was known as the Friendship Train. In return, the French sent one boxcar to each U.S. state in 1949 on the Merci train as a way to say thank you. French citizens sent over artwork, historical artifacts, and sentimental pieces. Once the boxcar arrived in Arkansas, its contents were displayed in the state capitol for a few weeks and then dispersed across various museums around the state, including the UA Museum. On to our zoology collection. It contains a variety of taxidermy mounts like this black bear, which sadly made its way to the museum as a taxidermy mount because it was hit by a car. We also have skeletal materials like this brown bear skull. And jarred specimens like these snakes, which were collected by the UA Biological Sciences Department through the years. While many animals represented in the collection are from Arkansas, there are quite a few from elsewhere in the world, such as this kangaroo, the elephant leg, the sloth skeleton, and this platypus taxidermy mount. We also have a significant bird collection, including taxidermy mounts, eggs, and nests. A museum is about the only place you'll find one of these birds today. It's a passenger pigeon. They were once the most abundant birds in North America. Their flocks had millions and could darken the sky for hours. Their massive populations was unfortunately part of their downfall. In the 1800s, unprecedented hunting of the birds occurred because people believed their numbers were inexhaustible. The last passenger pigeon died in a zoo in 1914. It was immediately sent off to the Smithsonian to be preserved for future generations like us. Numerous other birds went extinct in the late 1800s due to excess hunting. In response, one of the earliest wildlife protection laws was passed, the U.S. Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918. This is an elephant bird egg. Elephant birds have been extinct for hundreds of years, were only found in Madagascar, and reached up to 10 feet tall. There are debates about why exactly they went extinct, but it's likely humans played a role. Their eggs are roughly the equivalent to 150 chicken eggs, so they could feed multiple people, and it's likely that the birds, part of the reason they went extinct, they couldn't keep up with people taking the eggs. Last but not least on our tour, we're going to take a look at the geology collection. This is a 185 million-year-old crocodile fossil from Germany. It's very well preserved and was found in a slate quarry. This is a cephalopod fossil that was found by the UA Geosciences Department right here in Fayetteville. It was a marine animal that lived millions of years ago when the area was covered by water. What you're seeing is its shell. Its modern-day relatives include squid and octopus. Mammoth and mastodon fossils are also found in the geology collection, including this mammoth skull from Hazen, Arkansas, as well as leg bones, tusks, and teeth. Here's another tooth from a megalodon from North Carolina. one last set of teeth from this saber-toothed tiger, Smilodon californicus. It is from the La Brea tar pits in California. This is a model for the Arkansas state dinosaur, Arkansaurus freidii. It lived 113 million years ago and would have been much taller than this model, about 9 feet or more. The fossil specimens for it were found in the 1970s on private land by a man named Joe Friday, hence the name freidii. All that was found was pieces from 1 foot. Here's one of the fossil specimens for Arkansaurus freidii. When people think about fossils, they tend to think about animal fossils, but plants can fossilize too. So here are a few examples of some of ours, including these 2 tree trunks. This is a fossilized log from Montana. The geology collection also houses a variety of rocks and minerals. The state mineral for Arkansas is quartz crystal, so it's no surprise that there are many specimens within the geology collection. Here are a couple of our largest specimens. This is the meteorite that fell a few miles outside of Fayetteville in 1934. Its fall was witnessed by many since it happened in the middle of the day. There are only 15 officially recovered meteorites from the state of Arkansas currently on record. This is one of them. Multiple slices have been sent off to other institutions for scientific analysis.